Good afternoon, folks. Kenny Session here, coming to you again with our Wisdom Wednesday show. We really appreciate you guys stopping by to take a look at the show today. On today, I've got a very special guest on. You know, we've been talking about a lot of things on my show over the last few weeks. We've gone from, hard times when I was going through anxiety and depression, and I shared that with my audience, all the way to me coming out of my anxiety and depression and the medication that I had to go on. And this show, the Wisdom Wednesday show, is an authentic show where I can really just come on and share what's going on for real. Everybody has life's problems. Everybody has issues in their life, but it's life's wisdom. It's summertime. We just have to think of what God would do and where God has brought us from. And sometimes that's what allows us to keep on going. So that's what this show is about. It's just about sharing my authentic self with you. And so today, what we want to do is we want to take you into something that's real bit more positive today, and that's real estate. All of you guys know that I know real estate very, very well. My passion is real estate. I enjoy real estate. I eat, I drink, I live real estate. And today, one of the highlights of my life is, as I've told many people, is helping people get into homes. I've been in the business for over 33 years, and that is the thing that is the most fulfilling to me out of all the things that I've done in the business over the last 33 years, helping families, and especially those families that may not believe that they can get into a home. They don't know that they can get into a home. Nobody's come and knocked on your door and said, hey, I think you can buy a house. Well, that's what this show is about. I'm knocking on your door, telling you that home ownership is possible. All I need you to do is watch us, watch what we're doing, listen to what I'm saying. We're going to present something to you today that's going to definitely be a blessing to you. We're going to prove to you that no money down and no closing costs work. So with that being said, I've said enough. Let me introduce you to my guest, Eric Frazier from First Bank. Eric, you want to chime in real quick?
Hey, Kenny, thanks for having me today.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm Eric Frazier with First Bank, and my license number is 461807. And Kenny and I have been working together for a number of years, and I love his passion about first-time home buyers and helping them to get into homes with no money down. And Kenny, I've lost track on how many deals we've done, but
man, we're probably close to 100 now, maybe 75, wow. Maybe not 100, I think maybe 75 or so.
It's been a lot.
It's been a lot. Well, let me just kind of jump in there, because this is just we can talk. This is just an old time talk between you and I. I met Eric back in like around 2015. It was right after I shut down Session Real Estate, and I believe it was right after my mother passed away. And you guys remember that I shut Session Real Estate down because I was sued. It was a frivolous lawsuit, and we're going to be sharing that as well on this channel, because I have all the footage of that, Eric. I have an interview that I did at City Hall where we went into this John Russo's press conference and stood our ground. So we're going to be sharing that with our community, because I've been fighting for our community a long time. But I met Eric in 2015 after my mom died, and God told me to start the company back. He told me to start the show back. And Eric was kind enough to be our first sponsor with his company, The Power Is Now. So I wanted to thank you first and foremost for that. Then I'm going to shut up and let you talk a little bit.
Well, Kenny, thank you for, again, having me. And to sponsor you and support you was the least I can do, because I love your passion for our community. I love your tenaciousness. I mean, folks, if you're thinking about buying a home, then you must stop thinking and start doing, because if you get with Kenny Sessions, it's going to happen, and it's going to happen very, very quickly. In fact, Kenny, I was just sharing this with another agent. I don't think I have an agent that I work with that is able to turn pre-approvals around so quickly. And so it just speaks to your commitment to helping them find the right home. And then the way you structure deals is amazing to me. I don't think we've ever done a transaction where you were not able to get the seller to contribute in some way to the buyer's closing costs, making it literally a no money down deal. So for those of you who have been following Kenny, maybe you've listened to some of his videos and commercials, It's real, folks. I know it's real because I'm on the other side of it. I'm on the financing side of it, that he is helping people get into homes with little to no money down. I'm just very honored, really, Kenny, to be associated with you, to choose me and my team to help you make the American dream a reality. It's still real. The dream is still alive because of you, man, helping people get into homes.
Well, brother, don't make me start crying up in here. Everybody know I'm a big old softy, man. I'm a very emotional guy, you know. But one thing that has always just touched my heart, man, is when I can hand the keys to somebody. When the first day I met them, they had no idea that they could own a home. They were living somewhere in a rental or maybe sharing a room with somebody.
Right, right.
And they came across me, and I gave them some hope, and gave them some keys.
Right.
In fact, one of my biggest ones that's going to touch my heart, and I'm sure, this is just an old time talk today. It's going to touch my heart. We're getting ready to close it in the next couple of days, and I'm giving you hell on this deal right there, because this deal means so much to me, man. So I got to apologize to you for going so hard for this lady. Because Eric, I'm sure you're gonna I'm gonna let you tell them how hard that I go for these people and fight for them and cuss folks out and drag them in the mud and fire you. Eric got fired 3 or 4 times this week. Okay. And we're not joking. I'm not joking. He's been fired because of you, because of my clients, because of what I do. And Eric, I'm gonna let you tell the story. How many times did you get cussed out this week?
I think I've lost count, but Kenny, I'm used to you, man, and I think we make a perfect partnership because of that. Because I just, me, I'm the same all the time, calm and collected.
Man, and I want to thank you too, man, because folks, when I came to the show today, I shared with you some true, authentic stuff, and I do that because God has told me just to be real. I can be an example. I can be something that you can see that God is working through me to just help other people. And that's really my focus. This is my ministry, man. This is what I do as unto the Lord, and so therefore we can't lie, we can't cheat, we can't steal.
No.
But you guys, if Eric has been with me when I've gone through a lot of ups, because again, we work together so closely, so often. Eric knows when I'm having a good day or I'm having a bad day, or I'm having a depressed day, or I can't get out of a bed day, or I'm out here kicking butt day. Eric, won't you just talk about our relationship as it relates to our communication and
yes.
Just because some days I gotta pick you up some days too.
Yeah, and well, we're brothers first and foremost, and we're believers, and so I think having a relationship that's rooted and grounded in Christ enables you to be, considerate of the person, regardless of their state, and to be there for them. And so when you're having challenging times, man, we don't even talk business. We get into the Word. We pray together. And I don't think I have any agents actually that work with me, and I work with a lot of real estate agents that actually pray with me on the phone. And that's something unique that you and I have, man, that we can get in the Word, we can pump each other up.
Wow.
And it's exciting, man, to be able to do that in the middle of the doggone day, right? And you got all kinds of things going on, your phone is ringing off the hook, and you enter into a powerful prayer, or you get deep into the Word, and it really sets the tone for the rest of the day. Sometimes, you just have to stop what you're doing and pray.
Right.
No matter what's going on. Sometimes you just have to stop what you're doing and pray, or have that discussion with someone who's also in the Word, and encourage each other. And so I appreciate that about you, Kenny. You have been there for me when I've had my challenging days, and you've pumped me up. And you've also been there for me to light a fire when things aren't going like they should. And so it's kind of the carrot and the stick,
Call it yin and the yang.
The yin and the yang, right?
Yeah.
But
let's get through, because we already know we can keep on giving all each other all these accolades. I know that I owe you a whole lot, and this community doesn't even know the work that you've been doing with homebuyer seminars around the Bay Area. me and you haven't really broke my seminars yet, but because we feel like we have to get our operations together in a good way so that we can manage. The thing about doing what I'm doing in terms of building my company is that this is not my first time. And I remember I was one of the only, not only, but many people remember my TV show that I had on Soul Beat, Channel 37. And when we got that TV show and it came on air the first time, I was not ready for the response that we got from the show.
Yes.
So I didn't have the operations to handle it. I didn't have the people and the staffing to handle that. So this time it's been a little bit slower getting people in place. You know, we've got Susie now, which is off in the Philippines. She's my personal assistant. She manages all of my stuff. She manages me. You should have seen her in a meeting this morning with our marketing guy. I didn't even get a chance to say nothing. She reflected everything I wanted to say. It was like it was me talking. She wouldn't even let me talk. And so we got a lot of staff that we have to put up to do what we do. I can't do it by myself. Eric can't do it by himself. And I have to have good people that will be there to provide good customer service, because you guys know how y'all are. If y'all call and we don't get back to you in a certain period of time, y'all gonna call folks and tell them that we don't return phone calls and we ain't about our business. So that's what we've been doing, putting all of those pieces in place so that I don't miss a call. My reservoir is wide. I can take on a lot. And that's what we're doing right now, Eric. Even on today, I think we sent you 2 new buyers today that we're excited about. And the young lady that's closing in the next couple of days, she's got 5 children, and her story is that she came to me through a very good friend of mine, Marche. Marche, I want to say thank you for referring this young lady to me. She came to us, and she's this woman that's gone through. You're talking about Wisdom Wednesday. I've gotten so much wisdom from this lady because she was over to overcome her husband's death. Her husband died a year and a half ago. He died at home. He died in their bathroom. And those kids, all 5 of them, and his wife, still live in the house. And I can only imagine the nights that woman would just probably laid in her bed crying, or just missing her husband, or those kids that have to come home to that house every day and go in there and take a shower or go use the bathroom and just kind of visualize where their dad just died. I don't care how he died, what he died from, but he died in the house.
Yes.
And I can only imagine those days, those dark nights, and that lady had. I'm trying to figure out, God, what are you doing? Why are you taking my husband from me? Why are you having me and my kids in this house? You know, that my husband died. Why would you allow something like that to happen to us? You know, I've not done anything, God. You know, I can imagine that conversation that maybe she had with God. Why me, God? Why did you take my husband with 5 children to take care of by myself now? I'm talking about the extent of it all. And so I picked her up, Eric. That was the deal that we did. Marche gave her to me on a Wednesday afternoon. I told her to get all her paperwork in. I'm talking about her W-2. I told her, first of all, we sent the link to First Bank to her. We texted it over to her.
Okay.
I told her that this is going to be different than anything you've ever done before. But I'm going to need you to just do what I ask you to do. And I promise you I'll get you into a home. And what we did is I sent her a link over to you, and within 5 minutes, she got that link. She filled out the link in its entirety. She sent that link over to Eric via a text message. Eric's staff, I put them on alert that file was coming. He got that file on Wednesday night, Wednesday evening. They processed that file on Thursday. On Thursday morning, the girl is not even very computer literate, Eric. We found that out throughout the whole deal because it's been very tough on us doing business when you're not computer literate or have some sense of how to move things around on the internet. Right. But we were able to get her approved on that Friday. She went in and she had Marche. Thanks, Marche. Marche went in and scanned all of her documents, W-2 forms for 2 years, her pay stubs, her bank statements, all that stuff for her, and sent it over to you on her behalf. She didn't do it herself. Once you got that stuff on Thursday, you guys did your thing with it, did an underwrite, you underwrote that file, Eric, and we had a loan approval for that woman by Friday morning. I'm talking about from Wednesday afternoon when we met her to Friday morning. God, and this is I'm not saying this because of me. I'm trying to just show people what God can do.
Right.
This ain't got nothing to do with Kenny's session. I just praise God and thank him he uses me to do things like this. But this is the story. This woman had her loan approved on Friday morning. So we decided that we were going to go out and see houses on Sunday. I normally don't even show houses on Sunday for certain reasons, and I don't want to get into that today. But there's a lot of reasons I don't show houses on Saturdays and Sundays, and it's really because the stores are always full on Saturdays and Sundays. I want to go in the store after everybody had picked over all the fruit and left what they didn't like. And then whatever y'all don't like, I'm going to come in there and pick it up for you, and before you know it, we didn't turn it into. So that's my thinking. I go on Tuesdays and Thursdays when we show property. I took this lady on a Sunday. Market was, and that was because that was in January. In January, the market is not as hot. It's, it's right after the holidays. And I took her out on Sunday, Eric. We showed her 5 houses. She liked 2 of the houses. We came back to the office. We wrote an offer on 2 of those houses, submitted the offer. She was approved for $500,000. This woman got approved with her job and her kids, all the income for $500,000. Eric did that. And then we brought her back. We after $500,000, we sold her a house, helped her buy a house for $455,000, Eric. She put up $1,000 deposit. And I think she paid for the appraisal, which is about $500. And this woman's gonna get the keys to this house in the next couple of days, and she's gonna get the check back for $1,000 that she put up. God is good.
God is good all the time.
God is good, man.
All the time. I love the story, and more importantly, the fact that you are literally rescuing them from a very sad situation.
No, God rescued them. Yes. I don't have nothing to do. I just praise God he's using me. But God is good. God is good. I'm just so happy that he calls my name when he needs me to do something crazy like that. But that, that's not normal, Eric. I will tell you that. And guess what? She got her offer accepted on Martin Luther King's birthday. That's January the 15th. She got her offer accepted. So we only met her on January the 12th or 13th. She was in contract on her house by January the 15th, Martin Luther King's birthday. She got in contract, and from that day to this is how long it's taken us to get her into this house. And we pressing and fighting and kicking and scratching and massaging. Hey, Eric, I know you've been massaging this one, man, because if we don't close this one, it's going to be hell to pay. It has been a challenging file. We've had to do some extraordinary things, not only just with assisting the client, but also just dealing with a number of things. But, this. Don't tell it, Eric. Don't hold back. Tell it what you dealt with, because they don't know. This is an authentic show. Just tell us. Yes. Well, out of respect for the buyer, I'm going to say this, that we were able to get her qualified. And that your commitment, Kenny, and to helping her work through the challenges. And of course, I have an incredible team of people who every day are doing incredible things and putting in the time and effort and putting up with me, because I can definitely fight with the best of them to get things done. And so I owe a great deal of credit to you, to the team at First Bank, and to the borrower. Is absolutely committed, to owning a home and doing whatever it takes. And I just appreciate her so much for. Let's not forget my staff either, because we got Susie. Susie and Bella, and now Bella. We also have Leland and Sandra. Wow. We got, and I'm going to tell you thank you for that, because you're the one that turned me on to virtual assistants. You were using them before I could even imagine. I couldn't imagine having how that was going to work out before I met you. And you had virtual assistants all over the world. And now I have most of my virtual assistants are in the Philippines.
Yes.
The graphics that you see behind me, they've done
Yes.
all of that. The graphics that
Yes.
you'll see most of the shows
Right.
editing, on YouTube, they're taking over all of that. They're taking over all of my social media management.
Yes.
And they're part-time right now, Eric. I've got some
Mm-hmm.
part-time people and I've got a couple full-time people
Mm-hmm.
over in the Philippines, and they're there. And why do we outsource? Because it makes it easier. And it's easier now that we can do business like this. We do business all day on Zoom. That's how
That's
we
right.
that's how we have our meetings every day.
So, Kenny, you come a long way because you fought me tooth and nail about doing things online. You just would not get with it. And now, I mean, you are more online than I am.
Well, the idea is that everything changes, and when you see
Yes.
change, you have to be willing to change with it.
Yes.
I've told a
Yes.
lot of people, I used to have a brick and mortar real estate company over on 19th and Market where we actually had 3 offices, 19th and Market. We had another one up on El Camino in Sacramento behind the Art Mall. And we had an
Mm-hmm.
office out of Stockton back in the late 2000s, early 2000s. We were the largest black real estate company with about 40 agents in 3 offices at that time. And,
Mm-hmm.
and it was all brick and mortar, and we did a lot of business. But from there to here is like night and day. I mean, I've had to go and educate myself on online marketing and how to get to the people. And there's a lot that's gone into me making this switch from brick and mortar, where I've got this big office with all these agents, to now I've got almost no office or a little office with just a few people that I believe
Sure.
are going to be growing here soon. As soon as we prototype this marketing style that we have, which we're pretty close to doing, you can see. We're
Yes.
looking at moving to some other areas like Palmdale, Lancaster. We're looking at Moreno Valley. We want to go out where affordable housing is, and so that we can be a conduit to African American home ownership. I know people talk about gentrification and we can't buy in the cities that we've grown up and we've had families. Well, let's get off of it. Let's go buy where we can. The
That's
best
right.
time to buy a house is as soon as you can.
That's
That's the
right.
time. I mean, people tell you it's a good time there now, then when is a good time? The best time as soon as you can. That's the
That's
best
right.
time to buy a house.
People take for granted their health, their job, their income. I mean, they're concerned about interest rates and prices. Um, that's something you can't control. But what can take you out of the game if you just procrastinate is your health, your family situation, your income, your job. All those things are factors as well that people don't think about. And so you're committed to help people all over the state, and you can because of the 2 programs that we've been using to help people become homeowners. And if I had $1 for every person who told me that they couldn't do it, or they don't have the money or something like that, I would have $1 million. I mean, there's this expectation out there that you have to have good credit, that you have to have perfect credit in some cases, that you have to save a whole lot of money, that before you can buy a home. And it's simply not true, Kenny. And you've been proving it every single month with transactions of people who literally have no money, just enough to pay for the appraisal and the inspection. Am I right? That's about all they have.
That's what most of our deals are. I'm not going to make you believe that all of our deals are that way, because some deals, when you get down, you're negotiating, you have to give it. Sometimes you have to give and take. And
Yes.
I give a whole lot, but I mean, I can take this back. How do I want to say this? I take a whole lot, but I also sometimes have to give a little bit. So
That's
there
right.
are times when buyers have to put in money. And, unfortunately, I don't even like to talk about it, but there's been times that'll be, well, let me be honest, because I can be honest even if you don't. I've made mistakes in transactions where my calculations were off and I didn't get enough money in certain places where I should have gotten money to help them. And because it was my mistake and miscalculation, I ended up putting all the money in the deal to close the deal.
Yes. Yes.
Because it was my mistake. It wasn't anyone else other than mine. I could not put it on Eric. I could not put it on anybody but me. So that's why I'm so passionate about this, because I pay for my mistakes. If I make a mistake, I don't want you to pay for my mistake. I will pay for it. I will admit it, and I will come out of pocket if necessary to do the deal. But also on the other side of that, when I go hard to the paint and I be hitting these slam dunks and I ain't shooting no jumpers, and everything is just hitting, and I'm selling these houses. I don't feel like I have to give anything, because what I'm giving you is my talent, with my God-given talent. This is what I live, dream, and sleep. People can tell you that slept next to me, say, "Man, you be closing deals in your sleep." I said, "You probably right, because I just love what I do. I am what I do."
Yes, yes, man. You are the Kobe Bryant of real estate. You do not. You can take it to the hole, slam dunk it. You will not be denied. You know
That's
that
true.
Mamba mentality. You will not be denied, and I'm a witness to that, folks. Kenny, do you want to talk about the two programs that we have been using to make
Why
this?
don't you go ahead and just do that, Eric? I mean, I've
Okay,
been talking about you. You do it better than I do. Why don't you go right ahead?
so folks, Kenny and I have been working with the state of California. It's called the California Housing Finance Agency and the Golden State Finance Authority. These are two entities that have been making our job very easy. And I appreciate, in fact, I just was on the phone the other day, Kenny, with both entities. They're going to hopefully be participating in the Fair Housing Conference that is going to be held in Riverside, April 29th at the Convention Center. So hopefully they'll be there to share more about what the state is doing in these two great agencies to make homeownership a reality. Now, the California Housing Finance Authority has two programs that really are making a difference. The first one is My Home. And My Home is a down payment assistance. It's a loan that they will provide, to help you buy a home. It's a loan. Now, this loan works with FHA, VA, USDA, and even conventional loans. So normally FHA requires 3.5%, VA, zero money down, USDA, no money down, right? So in conventional, at least 3% down. And so on My Home, the state of California will give you a loan of 3.5% of the purchase price, or $10,000, whichever is less, whichever is less. Now that's a loan. Now, I don't know about you, but I have never been able to get a loan from a family member that much money, nevertheless, from the state of California, and under these terms. Now, the terms are this: you do not have to make payments until you pay off the first mortgage. That's the first thing that I love about it. So it's a $10,000 loan, or 3%, whichever is less. 3% of the 3.5% of the purchase price, or 10,000, whichever is less. And you do not have to make payments for the life of the loan. Now, if you decide to sell the house a few years in, then you have to pay it. If you refinance the house because rates are low like they are now, then you have to pay it. If you get behind and go into default, then of course it'll have to be paid, right? But it's only something like that that will require absolute payment in full of the balance. You can make payments on it because it is a loan. You can pay once a year, once a month. You can pay $1. You can pay $100. You can pay on it for as long as you like, for as often as you like. But a payment is not required. Now, at the end of 30 years, when the first mortgage is paid, you have to pay it off. There is an interest rate, and right now I believe the interest rate is 3.25%. So where can you go? Even if you got a cash advance on your credit card or a bank loan for 10 grand, which by the way, neither one of those would be eligible in terms of the source for the down payment. But you would be paying a significantly higher rate. So it's at a rate of 3.25%. That's what it is today. You don't have to make any payments on it for the life of the first mortgage unless you refinance, sell, or get behind. Now, another thing about this is that you not only don't have to make payments, but if you decide to pay it off, there's no prepayment penalty. There's no penalty whatsoever. You can live there for a minimum of 1 year, like on all FHA loans. You have to be in that house. You have to move in. Whether it be FHA, whether it be VA, whether it be USDA or conventional, you have to live in the property. This is not for second homes. This is not for investment property. You have to live in the property, be it owner occupied, and you have to be a first-time home buyer. Should you decide to sell a year from now or 2 years from now, you can. There's no prepayment penalty. You can pay off the mortgage. You can pay off the silent second with no payments. You can get rid of it at any time. So I really like this about the program because that's 10 grand or 3%, whichever is less, that many people don't have right now in the bank. But now you have it if you meet the qualifications. Now, in addition to down payment, you also have closing costs. And where Kenny has been so instrumental in negotiating the seller to contribute to your closing costs, this program will allow the seller to contribute as much as 6% towards your closing costs. And Kenny, on the average, has been able to get sellers to contribute somewhere between 3 to 4%, sometimes even higher, just depending on when we're closing, depending on what's going on towards your closing costs. But the state is also kicking in. They will give you 3% of the purchase price towards your closing costs. Actually, that's 3% of the loan amount, the maximum loan amount. If it's FHA, that includes mortgage insurance. So the total loan amount, 3% towards your purchase. So in a loan amount of $500,000, that's 15,000 grand, $15,000. And that's in addition to whatever Kenny can provide. In some cases, we may not need any money, but in most cases we do because of setting up impounds. And depending on what time of the year we're closing, just impounds alone can run almost 2% of the purchase price, setting up impounds for taxes. Now, the ZIP program is called zero interest because this 3% loan for closing costs is literally at zero interest. And like my home, it doesn't have any payment requirements. No payments whatsoever. You can make payments if you want to, but they're not required. The only time it's going to be required to pay off the loan is that you either sell or refinance or you go into default. And so the state program is providing the most money. And that's the program, Kenny, you and I have done the most with, and is the California Finance Agency. Now, you have to own or occupy the property. The maximum sales price is $795,000, and it has to be a single-family home. It can't be a 2-unit or 3-unit. It can't even zone in a 2 to 4 unit. It has to be zoned in the single-family residence area. The minimum FICO score on the program is 660. If you're going to do a conventional loan, Kenny, it's going to be 680. The challenge that we run into is FICO scores a lot of time, and we have to help people get their scores up. But 660 for FHA and 680 for conventional. 660 would be all government, so FHA, VA, USDA. 680 for conventional. So that's the California Housing Finance Agency providing, again, my home, 10,000 or 3%, whichever is less, and closing cost credit of 3% of the purchase price or of the maximum loan amount. Now, there was one other thing I want to share. A recent change has happened. So if you are a teacher or a police officer and you're buying a new construction or manufactured home, then you can get a full 3.5% towards your down payment. So for example, if you're buying a house for $500,000, 3.5% is almost $17,500. Well, the state, unless you are a policeman or a teacher, is only willing to give you 3.5% or $10,000, whichever is less. But if you are a teacher or a police officer and you're buying new construction or a manufactured home, then you can get the full 3.5% of the purchase price towards your down payment. So that's a significant change, Kenny, that took place on the 1st of March. And prior to that, you and I were on a show with CalFHA when they increased the FICO score from 640 to 660.
Yeah.
And I just heard today the market is down, and so interest rates are going back up today. So the only thing you can count on in lending is change, folks. And that's why it's so important that you get started now. The power is now to buy, because I think that we're going to see a lot more changes to come. Now, that's the California Housing Finance Agency program. I want to talk about Golden State. But Kenny, do you have anything you want to add about CalFHA?
Well, Eric, I mean, I think we've gone quite a bit. I don't know how much we've done today. We've got a wealth of information. I think what we're going to have to do is just have you come back and do some more with us.
Okay.
I want to do some home buyer seminars as well. Eric does a great home buyer seminar. We're going to kind of collaborate some of my vision into his, and we're going to be coming back quite often with some homebuyer seminars that we're going to be putting on under my other show, which is Kenny Session Real Estate Live. That show is going to be coming out shortly. In fact, it will be debuting. We're going to be doing a look back at old school real estate brokers and agents in the Bay Area. And I'm going to be doing an honorary of a lot of them that I came up with, who have taught me so many things. It's about going back and paying it backwards, you know, to the people whose shoulders that I'm standing on. And the very first person we're going to do is Ernest Clark. Me and his daughter met last night. We met last night for a little bit, and we're going to be getting all the stuff together to put together a show that will honor our past real estate brokers of the Bay Area. So that's what's going to be my Kenny Session Real Estate Live show is going to carry that. We're going to do a series probably. Right now, we want to do it like once a month. I believe it's going to take off, and then we're going to be doing it hopefully more than that. But we're going to start honoring some of our past people, past real estate brokers who have taught me so much and been such a great example to not just me, but to our community. And like I said, Ernest Clark, our past president of the National Association of Real Estate Broker. And I'm fortunate to say that he was one of my mentors. I'm going to be doing him first, Eric.
Well, he is an icon in our community and with the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. And I'm so happy you're going to do a show on him. And we should honor those whose shoulders we are all standing on. And to be in this business is because of great men and women like Ernest Clark. Thank you for having me on today, Kenny. And
no, thank you for coming, man. But let's get to business, man. Can my deals close today? You got two of them. Not only do you have two of them, but we closed Peterson. Her brother, that's her brother, just went into contract on his house. It's a straight no money down deal, $282,000. The seller is paying $8,000 in closing. You got him a 2% credit for closing costs, and he's getting 3.5% credit or loan for his down payment. And his wife will be coming over here to join him in his brand new house within the next month or two. He's bringing her over from the Philippines with him and the baby. Man, we got stories behind stories, bro. So just let's get these deals closed. We've got a few, and I just also told Eric that I'm getting ready to send him every buyer that I get for the next 3 days. That might be like, I don't know how many buyers that's going to be. But hey, I got to get out of here, Eric. I'm supposed to be with the kids today at Operation Hope. We're going to be doing some footage over there at Operation Hope. That's why I want to put my jacket on so I can run out the door.
Looking good.
Thank you for coming on, man. We're going to do this again. If it looks like we're having fun, folks, we are. We do this every day for you. And we're going to keep being the top of the food chain in the real estate business, loan business. Hey, we got you. If you want to buy a house, all you have to do is inbox me your name, your phone number, and your email address. Inboxes me your name, your phone number, and your email address. Just send it through Facebook, send it through Pigeon. If you need to, send it by homing pigeon. Call our number, 510-568-4200. My website is right there all across my shoulder. My email is ksession@sessionrealestate.com. You want to get in that house and you don't know? Holler at your boy. We'll see you guys on next week. This was my Wisdom Wednesday show for today. God bless you all. We love you. See you next week.
All righty.